1484 AD, 5378 AM. Columbus, Cristobal Colon, went to Portugal, where his petition for a grant of ships to sail west over the Atlantic was denied. It is to be remembered that the Portuguese had already sailed to the Americas in a secret mission, a fact that was a state secret. By this time, the Roman Catholic papacy had so completely put down all of its doctrinal rivals, and the Crusader age was over. Europeans, well aware of the duplicity of the Roman Church and outright treachery against those men who died in war, whose wives were accused as heretics, so their estates could be confiscated. So the Roman Catholic Church found another enemy to focus upon. Almost overnight, the widespread problem of witchcraft emerged as a viable threat, terrible enough to topple the Church. Same old tune, just different dances. The papacy formally condemned witchcraft, seeing this as an inexhaustible source of wealth, and issued a bull demanding that this be recognised as a problem throughout Europe. The denial that this was a problem was punishable as a heresy. This same bull gave the Dominicans authority to torture any suspected witches, which meant torturing them until they admitted their guilt. Papal infallibility was a doctrine employed by the Roman agents, a doctrine that claimed that the Church was led by the infallible Pope. Thus the agents of the Church, when acting under his decrees, were also infallible. Thus, if someone was accused of witchcraft, that person was tortured, and torture was justified, because the Church could not err. No innocent person was ever condemned. This twisted insanity was practiced parallel with the Renaissance era. I'm Pyrrhus and the Lost Templar Fleet. 1485 AD, 5379 AM. The civil war in England, known as the Wars of the Roses, ends between the houses of York and Lancaster. In August, an epidemic broke out in London first, known as sweating sickness, a mysterious plague believed to have come from an evil mist. Some theorise its origin as being from the stars. The disease set in at night or early in the morning and resulted in death in just hours. Within months the epidemic vanished. 1486 AD, 5380 AM. Henry VII of England married Elizabeth, daughter of Edward V, which united the English houses of York and Lancaster in an immensely popular move. This is 2488 years since the throne of David was established in 1003 BC. The actual year of 2488 Annus Mundi being 1407 BC, when the Israelites conquered Canaan and settled in the land of promise. The biblical prophecies indicate that God would never lack someone to sit on the throne of the descendants of the Israelites, and at this time in history it was widely believed by those in the Isles of England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales that they were the blood descendants of David and the Israelites. This year is 2070 years, 414 times 5, after the fall of Judah, when Jeremiah the prophet and the scribe Baruch travelled to Egypt with the Judahite princess Tamar and sailed to ancient Ireland, marrying her into the Semitic Tuatha de Danann, already settled there. The thread of Israelite royalty has even to the present day lived in the Isles. Agents of the papacy published the Malleus Maleficarum, witch hammer, in response to Pope Innocent VIII's papal bull concerning the spread of witchcraft, a text of instructions on torture techniques that guarantee confessions from heretics. Henry Cornelius Agrippa is born, died 1535. A famous mystic and occultist, a sage concerning the powers of the human spirit over matter. This was exactly 432 years after the great division of the Roman Church in 1054. 1488 AD, 5382 AM. Planet Phoenix passed through the inner solar system, completing its 138 years orbit, and in this same year was born Ursula Southhill, better known as Mother Shipton, or the Northern Prophetess, a Christian woman with the power of wisdom and prophecy, greatly revered in her area of England. She wrote a poem of a few hundred lines, predicting many things that have indeed come to pass, i.e. aircraft, world wars, submarines, computers, telephones, wireless technology, ocean-going vessels made out of iron and steel instead of wood, and she very specifically describes the global disasters of the years 2040 and 2046 AD involving planets Phoenix and Nibiru, which she called sky dragons. Her entire prophecy is stunning and is published in Nostradamus and the Planets of Apocalypse. Her prophecy mentions that she would be burned at the stake, but her words preserved for future posterity, which is exactly what happened to her. 1490 AD, 5384 AM. A meteorite shower in Central Asia killed 10,000 people, while on the other side of the planet in Ireland, a volcano in the Ox Mountains erupted, killing many people and much livestock. 1. Destruction of Atlantis, the antediluvian world.